BKFC 11 adds fights to the card. Dan Hooker defeats Paul Felder in a controversial decision. And Tyson Fury TKOs Deontay Wilder in the 7th round. All that and more on last week's wrap-up. All right, everybody, welcome back. I am Joshua Furs from CombatInsiders.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. If you like the video, please, if you're not subscribed already too, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. It helps us out so much. I know I talk about it every time. So does every other YouTuber or Facebook or content creator or whatever. It just helps us out so much. So, share, like, subscribe. Helps us out a ton. Thanks a lot. We saw some updates from the BKFC camp for some fights that they're going to be putting on for BKFC 11. BKFC 11 takes place March 14th. It's going to be in Wichita, Kansas. It's going to be a Fight TV pay-per-view, all that good stuff. They added a few fights to the card. Kenny Lacia versus Jake Lindsay. They did confirm David Caveman Rickles. That has been confirmed for a while, but he's going to be on the card. No opponent yet has been announced. Bellator vet Josh Burns will be taking on BKFC vet Sam the Hillbilly Hammer Shoemaker. That's going to be a good one. Helen Peralta versus Christine Fierro for the women's 125-pound BKFC championship. That's a rematch from last year. That's going to be quite possibly fight of the night. An Olympic boxer, Nico Hernandez, he's going to be in the main event of BKFC 11. No opponent has been announced as of yet, but we do know he's going to be in the main event. Also announced this week, Dakota Cochran versus MMA vet Melvin Gillard. That's been added to the card as well. So we're looking forward to that. Big card, big things happening for them. Just on another note, too, David Feldman did announce at the BKFC 10 pay-per-view the next few cards coming up. April 11th in Birmingham, Alabama, May 16th in Miami, and July 11th in New York. So be sure to keep that in mind. Bareknuckle.tv is their official website. So any information you need from them, go check them out. In UFC news, Israel Adesanya made headlines for all the wrong reasons. He made a comment on his Instagram pertaining to Yoel Romero and 9/11. It didn't go over well as expected. A lot of people thought it was very distasteful. He did make a apology, talking about how his sometimes his mouth works quicker than his brain, and it just kind of came out. And he didn't mean anything by it, and hopefully all is well. I think he said it out of meanness, or that he actually has any kind of disdain for 9/11 victims? No, I don't. I don't think he was actually making fun of the tragedy. Was it poor taste? Yeah, it was a poor taste to say. It was a poor thing to say. It is what it is at this point. He came out and he made the apology. He's all good. UFC Auckland was also this past weekend. We saw Dan Hooker defeat Paul Felder in the main event. There was a controversial decision, right? And it always seems to be the case whenever the hometown hero, the hometown fighter wins the fight and it's a close fight, people are quick to scream robbery. They're quick to scream, the judges were preferring him. They had a bias because he's the hometown guy. It was a close fight, right? I personally had Felder winning rounds 3, 4, and 5. Not to say that I was upset that he didn't win because it was that close. I guess it just depends on what you're looking at. I thought Felder did enough in the later rounds to he was really sticking it to him and got on the inside. He was able to land some hard shots. He was kind of nullifying Hooker in really especially 3 and 4. And I think with the exception of round 5, I only say that because Hooker did get the takedown towards the end of round 5, but I don't think that takedown should equal automatic wins of the rounds. I just don't believe it. I said the same thing in the John Jones Dominic Reyes fight. I just don't. I don't believe that a takedown should be automatic, especially if there was no damage done. There was some nice transitions and stuff with this case with Dan Hooker. They rolled around for a second, but there was no damage done. I don't know. I think we have to look at how grappling is scored on a lot of these by a lot of these judges. Something is amiss. I think a lot of these judges, maybe they don't know exactly how grappling works, and they see a takedown, and they think, oh, this guy got dominated, so on and so forth. And I'm a grappling guy, so don't misunderstand that. I respect the grappling game. I really do. I love to see two high-level jiu-jitsu guys or wrestlers go at it. I really do. It's going to be interesting to see how this develops as time goes on. I do think something needs to change, that with the takedown getting the automatic win of the round. Again, just to kind of wrap it up, I thought it was a close fight. Do I think it was a robbery? No. I think it was a steal? No. It was what it was. Don't let it go to the judges. The old tried and true saying, right? Don't let it go to the judges. So, it is what it is. Congrats to Dan Hooker. I thought it was a very competitive fight, very tough fight for both guys, and hats off to him. And in some boxing news, unless you've been living under a rock, that Fury versus Wilder 2 was this past weekend. Depending on who you ask, I think a lot of people kind of saw it going in a similar fashion. We know just from the first one that from a technical standpoint, and there's no argument here, Fury is the better technical striker, right? Technical boxer. Deontay Wilder, he's got that heavy hand. He's knocking people out left and right throughout his whole career. And that's really what he banks on. Not to call him a one-trick pony, but I tell you what, that one trick works pretty damn good, right? Tyson Fury, he's awkward. We saw a lot of the awkward movement this past weekend. We saw him lean on Wilder a lot, even like half one-armed, almost guillotine almost. Saw him lay on him a lot and really just drained and zapped the energy right out of Wilder. We saw him bust the eardrum of Deontay Wilder, and I think that really what contributed to Wilder just really not having his legs underneath him. His equilibrium was off. Everybody saw that. Of course, I've seen some ridiculous stuff on the internet. A lot of people thought Wilder was maybe drugged, maybe something else was wrong with him. He got rocked. His equilibrium was off. His eardrum was busted. Blood was coming out of his ear. And I mean, it's as simple as that. Hats off to Wilder. It's a tough dude. I don't want to make it seem like I'm taking away from him, because I'm not. Wilder is as tough as it gets. He's as tough as they come, right? And one shot could have ended that fight. It could have easily gone the other way. Tyson Fury did a great job at leaning on him and zapping his energy. He did a great job of pressing the action. Wilder is usually the bigger guy, usually not bigger guy in terms of size, but bigger guy in terms of like his presence. He's used to pushing the action, right? He's used to being the forward pressure fighter. And I think being on his heels, that probably, that messes up a lot of people. When you're usually the one that's pressing the action and now you're on your heels, it's hard to get some of that power back, right? It's a lot more draining when you're walking backwards than when you're walking forward. So that's it changes up a lot of people's game plan. I thought that the stoppage was fair. Of course, it was the corner stoppage. They threw in the towel. I thought it was a great call by the corner. I think if they didn't do it, I think it would have ended pretty shortly afterwards via ref stoppage had the corner not stepped in. Wilder there was a lot of unanswered strikes. And, that's the main thing for the corner and the ref. You want to protect the fighters, right? A lot of these guys are tough as nails. We know that. We know they can take a lot of abuse. But why take abuse when you don't necessarily have to if it's really not going to change the outcome? I don't think that fight would have went really any other way. Fury he was on point. That's all it was. He was on point. And he was the better striker. He was the better boxer. He was the way bigger guy. So them shots were pretty heavy with all that extra weight that he put on for this fight. I think it would have been the same story regardless. To all the people there's been a lot of argument over Tyson Fury and Wilder, and a lot of Wilder fans they've been accused of jumping ship and because he lost now. And man. Here's what I'll say to that. Wilder people, or anybody, this really applies to anybody. If you're a fan of somebody and you jump ship just because they lost one fight, come on, man. Come on. You got to do better than that. Combat sports fans, whether it's boxing, MMA, bare knuckle, whatever, you got to do better than that, guys. You got to do better than that. Stick with your guy. Stick with whatever team you think you're on, whatever. You got to do better than that. You can't jump ship just because a guy loses one time. Deontay Wilder is still a top-notch, top-class world beater fighter. He is. People can say, oh, he was exposed. Yeah, all right. I don't think anybody's ever accused Deontay Wilder of being, the best technical striker in the world. So I don't see where he was exposed. I don't like that kind of describing him as that. No one's ever accused him of being, a Floyd Mayweather. No one's ever accused him of being this high-class, hot, top-tier technical striker. He's never been that. He's a heavy hitter. He's a hard puncher. He's going to clean your clock. That's who Deontay Wilder is. This whole exposed campaign that people are talking about that he finally lost, no, I just don't. I don't think so. I really don't think so. Again, hats off to Tyson Fury. He's finally got that title that he's been chasing after for so long to complete his collection, as he talks about. He's talked about several times since then. Hats off to Tyson Fury. Their game plan was on point. And really at that level, it's not even so much, with MMA, with boxing, I think at that level, at that top tier level, right, it's not about miles, it's about inches. In terms of, winning the fight, it's about inches. And sometimes it comes down to game planning. Maybe not so much skill, not so much strength or power. Obviously, all those things are, they are tangible, but game planning, I think, at that level is paramount. I really can't say that enough. Usually you see guys that win the fights in those top tier fights like that. It's about the game plan. They win it with the game plan. So hats off to their team. Deontay Wilder, hope we see him, get healed up, and hope we see him back again. And can't wait to see him KO somebody else. So, and with that said, guys, thanks for tuning in today. This week's video. I am Joshua Furs with CombatInsiders.com. Once again, smash that like, subscribe button, hit the share button. It helps us out. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit. You name it, we're on there. So whatever platform you're watching us on, please just go and support us. It really means the world to us. It helps us out so much. Try to get our rankings up a little higher so more people can see our content. Until next time, I'll catch you later.